Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. It is Monday, August 16th. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, our Monday guest, Skee Profit as well. We're ready to break down this Monday MLB card and hoping, at least for me personally, better than Sunday. Sunday had been really good. We had gotten out of the doldrums of Sunday baseball betting
Yeah,
we had struggled early on Sundays, April and May, and even into June a little bit. And then really from mid-June till yesterday, we started to put together some really good Sunday results. Not yesterday, though, unfortunately. The Rays didn't show up.
yeah.
The Red Sox, Orioles stayed out under the total, which was frustrating. Houston Astros didn't. I mean, just a bunch of disappointing results yesterday. But
Yeah.
we turn the page and we look forward to Monday. Let's get to it.
Weekend.
We got the LA
We got
Angels.
whipped.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
let's roll today.
I won a
Yeah,
few at least.
good. Just
Yeah.
today. Yeah, me too. But yeah, we need to get rolling. It's a shitty weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Tatis coming back for the Padres too, and I liked Arizona team total. And I figured, geez, I thought he was coming back Monday, and fucking Tingler puts him back yesterday. And look at the impact he makes.
Yeah.
You think that team that doesn't miss Fernando Tatis? Look what he did yesterday. Unbelievable performance. First game back, it felt like he didn't even miss any time or had no injury whatsoever. I mean, just an incredible day for him at the plate. Monday, let's go to it. We'll start with the LA Angels and the New York Yankees. Jose Suarez and Garrett Cole here. The Yankees minus 270, home favorites, 8.5 the total, shaded to the over in this one. Suarez is not a guy I'm backing, and there's no way, not with his hard hit contact that he's been giving up. He's not a guy I trust at Yankee Stadium against a Yankee lineup that, look, is starting to hit a little bit lately. A very nice series for them against the White Sox. After the tough loss that they had, in the opener, bounced back pretty nicely, the Yankees. And look, they're right on the trail of both Boston and Oakland for the two AL wildcard spots, just a couple of games behind. Every game important for them right now. Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yankees. We'll see how he fares here in this one. Cole, of course, has had the odd bad start, but for the most part, he's been pretty good. You're talking about a guy with a 3.11 ERA this year. And look, he's supposed to be a big game pitcher, right? And every game for the Yankees that he starts the rest of the season, it is supposed to be a big game. And this is when you expect Garrett Cole to rise up, pitch well, and really show why he's making the bucks that he's making for this Yankees team tonight. So this is just a game. It's not the price that I'm going to get involved at all. I don't want the Angels, and I don't think the value is all that great with Cole and the Yankees. So there's really no reason to get involved in this game. The Angels aren't hitting all that much. Even yesterday in the win against the Astros, it was only a 3-1 victory for them. So I don't know if they're going to have a lot of success here against Cole. I'm just off the game entirely. Connor, what do you think here, Angels and Yankees?
Yeah, huge number. Cole's on the mound. He's been gone for, a couple of weeks with the COVID. I like what he said the other day in his bullpen or whatever. I threw a no-hitter in his bullpen session. That's really funny. No-hitter in your bullpen session. So I guess he means he feels good. He's throwing well. But huge price, almost 300. I don't want anything here. I had the Yankees yesterday as big dogs. That was probably my best win at plus 160. Now they're minus 280 at home. They won a 2 out of 3 against Chicago. If I were to look to them, if you think they're going to hit Suarez, I'd look at the team total. It's 5.5. It's plus 105. I'd roll that way instead of even going run line. You don't get maybe that last at bat as the home team. Suarez has gotten hit lately. It seems like he can go about 4 to 5 and gives up at least 4 runs. June 28th, though, against the Yankees, he went 5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run. I mean, can he do that again? I doubt it. So it's a difficult one. I can't lay that price either. I don't blame anyone want to take a shot on the Angels first 5, but if you look Yankees, I'd more look towards the team total a little bit at 5.5. They're starting to swing it a little bit better. Gallo, all these guys are healthy and they're getting going lately.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Garrett Cole has not started for a while. He hasn't pitched since that first that game against Tampa Bay where it was rough for him. But again, he's returning after being out 2 weeks. He feels good. You're right. All those, coach speak, player speak quotes is what you got from Cole. I feel good. I'm ready to go. I'm looking forward to it. It's an important game. I'll be ready. Well, that's nice. Let's see if I'll be ready translates on the field tonight. That's the big question. I think he'll pitch well, though, because the Angels aren't hitting right now. I do lean Yankees team total over 5.5. I do lean that way. I just don't know if I'll get there with it. I will say this about Suarez. You look at his starts since July 5th. The opposing team has scored 5. well, they shut down Seattle, but 6. Oakland scored. Colorado scored 12. Texas scored 3. The Blue Jays scored 4. So it's been hit or miss over 5.5 runs against Suarez. So that's why I just don't love the team total enough to bet it. Lean that direction, but just to lean. Skee, what do you like here? Anything here? Angels, Yankees.
Yeah, I don't bet a lot of Yankees games. I tend to stay away from them, but I do like Angels games. So I do, just to put numbers to what you said. Suarez last 20 innings, he's given up 19 runs, and as far as the Angels bullpen, the last 10 days, ERA of 5.08. Cole, like you said, he missed a couple weeks. His last time out was the 29th. But at home, those 2 starts before he went out were on the road. I know at home he's like 2.7. So it's tough. I would think Yankees could win by margin in this game, but I would probably agree with Connor and take a team total. I know if C-Check comes in the game, I'll bet the Yankees live, but just a lean. I think Yankees score a lot of runs here.
All right, next up, we've got the Cubs and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. Justin Steele on the mound for the Cubs. Wade Miley for the Reds. Battle of lefties here. Reds minus 200. Home favorites in this one. Total 9.5. Shaded to the under. Wade Miley has been pretty solid mostly. Kind of ran into a little trouble in his last start. It wasn't his best in his last outing on the mound, but still, for the most part, he's had a nice 2021 year. 5 runs in his last start against the Braves in 5 innings, a 8-6 Braves win. Can he bounce back here? I think he will. He has look, it's hard to have a 2.56 ERA at this ballpark. We know how tough it can be to pitch at Great American Ballpark. And Miley to have a 2.56 ERA pitching at home this year is very impressive. The Reds are 8-2 in his 10 home starts. Certainly, I would lean Reds run line here, minus 1.5, minus 115. I think I'm interested in that. I think I'm interested in the Reds team total a little bit over as well. I don't trust Justin Steele. Look, he's got a 2.95 ERA, made his first career start back on August 10th, 6 days ago. He was all right, 3 runs, 5 hits, but 1 walk. He didn't strike out a ton, gave up a couple of home runs. It's basically all the warning signs of a pitcher that may struggle big time in this ballpark against a very, very solid Cincinnati lineup. So this would be Reds run line, Reds team total. I wouldn't even talk you out of the full game over as well at 9.5 in this one. Now, those are the 3 angles I'm looking at here. Run line with the Reds, team total with the Reds over, and maybe even the full game over 9 a little bit. Just because you've got the Cubs bullpen's a disaster. The Reds bullpen is still a little bit shaky. You can get runs late in this game as well. And keep in mind, the Cubs pitching, starting and bullpen's been dreadful since the trade deadline. They have been giving up runs in bunches. So keep that in mind. That's why the team totals for teams facing the Cubs have been cashing in a lot since the All-Star break. Connor, what do you think here? Cubs versus the Reds.
Yeah, I think the Reds team total or the run line's a good look. Steele's a guy, he's done just okay. As a reliever, he pitched, decent. Down in AAA, he'd seem to go 4 or 5 innings and give up a run or 2. And like you talked about, that last start August 10th in Milwaukee, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. The Cubs have lost 11 in a row again. I mean, and they're on another horrible losing streak. The baseball team isn't good at all. So, like I said yesterday, at some point they're going to win. I don't know when it'll be, but I don't want anything to do with them. So it'd be Reds or pass.
Way 9 or 10 of these 11 losses for the Cubs, if you laid the 1.5 against them, you cashed. So they're not just losing; they're losing by margin. Look at 8-6, 4-0, 9-3, 4-2, 6-3, 10-0, 17-4, 14-10. They had 1 loss by a run, and that was the Saturday game against Miami. 5-4 they lost,
5-4.
and then yesterday they lost 4-1. So if you're laying the 1.5 against the Cubs right now, you're doing very well. So don't overthink it, is what I'm saying. Skee, what do you think here with the Cubs and the Reds?
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest not to overthink it. I mean, I know how bad the Cubs have been. They've lost, 11 in a row. I look at their pitch in the last 10 days, 7.82 ERA. Justin Steele, I don't know that I've seen him too much, but I just don't have a lot of faith in the Cubs pitching. But as far as the Reds, when I look at their stats, 27th weighted runs created plus the last 2 weeks versus lefties, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence. Like, I think everybody will hit the Cubs in general, but just when I see that, it kind of makes me hold off on taking a team total for the Reds. So I However, I do think the bullpen is a little bit better, 3.76 over the last 10. And Miley, he didn't have a good start last time out, but I think he can bounce back here. His last 11 innings versus the Cubs, he gave up 5. We'll see if he can do better today. I think I like the Reds -1.5 if I had to make a wager, but I don't feel great about it.
All right, next up, we've got the Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins. It is Touki Toussaint here for the Atlanta Braves and Braxton Garrett, lefty, for the Miami Marlins in this pitching matchup. Atlanta around -160 now as road favorites in South Beach. The total 8.5 right now, shaded to the under in this one. Touki Toussaint, who has started out pretty solid in his first couple times in this rotation as a starter against the Phillies and against the Padres. The last few, it's been a little bit rougher for him. 7 runs allowed to the Brewers in 3.1 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits to the Cardinals in 5.1 innings. A little bit better in his last start, 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings, but 97 pitches to get through 5 innings. And he definitely had a struggle in that start against the Reds. We'll see how he fares in this game. He hasn't faced the Marlins since 3 years ago, so you can't put too much stock into that. Braxton Garrett for the Marlins, roughed up in his last outing just 6 days ago. 5 runs, 8 hits, 3.1 innings. Really had a tough time of it. We'll see if he's able to bounce back, pitch better today against this Braves lineup. A Braves lineup that against lefties lately, averaging 6.3 runs per game. So they're hitting lefties better, which is a good sign for them going into this game. But on the flip side, you look at the Marlins here, you have a 278 batting average for them against righties and 6.4 runs per game, believe it or not. So look, Lewis Brinson, Jazz Chisholm. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that have stepped up literally to the plate here for the Miami Marlins and gotten this offense rolling. Miami comes into this game, they've scored 4, 5, 14, 7, 5, 3, 8, 4. I mean, this lineup is actually starting to put some runs on the board the last 7 or 8 games. We know what Atlanta's done. They've gone 4-1 to the over their last 5 games. That's kind of what I'm looking at here. The total's reasonable. It's 8.5. I think it could get there over the 8.5 here. I don't trust Toussaint. Miami is hitting better lately, and they've been hitting, for the last 7, 8 games much better, in fact. And on the flip side, you got this Atlanta lineup, which is right now mashing at the plate. Even without Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, just can't be stopped right now. They're really hitting the ball quite well. I lean Atlanta in the game as well. Maybe Atlanta first 5 -0.5 a run. You could go in that direction as well, because this is a team that means business. They've taken over first in the NL East. They're playing their best ball of the year right now. I wouldn't argue with an Atlanta bet, but more than anything, I'm going to probably look over 8.5 here. Connor, what do you think here? Braves, Marlins.
Yeah, I think this one's a bit tricky here. Braves are hot. They're starting to play well. I wish I was on them again yesterday. Their team total. I'm pissed I wasn't. But laying -160 on the road, not my favorite look with Toussaint. He's been up and down. And Garrett, he's just not a guy that I want to back. I saw his last start in San Diego. He did not look good. He gave up 5 earned runs. Before that, he was getting by going 4 innings, giving up 2 runs. But if you looked at all his stats, I mean, he's still young. He's 22 years old. You look at his stats in AAA, he got hit hard. His ERA was about 5 in AAA. So it's hard. The Marlins played well, but they beat up on the Cubs. They've been beating on some real crappy teams. But they have been hitting better, because initially I wanted to go first 5 under here. We know this ballpark, there can be unders, but the total is light. I don't blame you. You could go multiple things. If you like the Braves, I look at their team total a little bit, 4.5 -115. But if you like the home dog, I think the Marlins at this price is pretty solid. It's a game I'm off for now.
Toussaint, by the way, has the one start that he's made in his career against Miami. It was 3 years ago, so you have to throw that out, as I said. But he has made 2 relief appearances against Miami this year out of the bullpen, and his ERA is 5.4. So he has had a tough time this year out of the bullpen when he's faced the Marlins. So we'll see if there's a carryover for that into tonight. So Toussaint has struggled out of the bullpen against this Marlins team this year. So we'll see if that happens once again tonight. Skee, anything for you here, Atlanta, Miami?
Yeah, you said his last start versus them was 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2018.
Okay. Well, I'll just throw that out the window. I mean, when I look at both of the starting pitchers, honestly, neither one of them looks good. Like Connor said, he gave up 5. Garrett gave up 5 and 3 in the third. And Tukey, his last 13 and 2/3, he gave up 12. So don't really trust either. If I like the Braves more than I like the Marlins, though. Like, just thinking about how the Marlins, like, they've won 4 in a row, but they've been playing the Cubs, like, what, 3 games? And the Cubs just lose to everybody right now. So I don't know how much stock I want to put into that. And the Braves, meanwhile, they've won 10 of their last 12. So I like what I'm seeing from them. So the way I would play this game, if I'm going to play it pregame, I would take the Braves team total. I think it's pretty cheap at 4.5. They're averaging a little bit over 7 their last 3. And if this game is close or tied, like when the bullpen is coming in, or if the Braves happen to be down, then I would probably live play the Braves. So that's what I like in this one. Braves team total over 4.5, and live play the Braves when the bullpens come in.
I like it.
All
I
right.
want to give a quick
Yeah.
shout out to the chat real quick. Everyone for being in here. Thanks. We appreciate it. Hit the like button. And yeah, I got to give something to my guy here. Where is he? On the Marlins. George Gutierrez. They didn't smash him all 3 games. The game that Garrett pitched, they lost. I think it was 8-5 because I had the Marlins in that game. He only went 3 1/3. They won 2 of 3. So get it right, my man.
And on that other comment, he said the Braves been beating up on the Nationals. I mean, they've won 10 of their last 12 games. Did they play 12 games versus the Nationals?
That's true too.
Well, that's the thing. Braves are playing well. I mean, I'm not going against Atlanta right now. They've got a good thing, good vibe going. They're winning.
They do.
And you're right. The Marlins, yeah, you could say that about Atlanta too. Like they took on Washington over the weekend, and Washington's just, dreadful right now. They traded away so many key players at the deadline as well. They're way out of it. But still, Cubs are worse. You can't tell me the Cubs aren't worse than the Nationals right now. They absolutely are. At least the Nationals compete and can win a couple games here and there. We're not seeing that right now from the Cubs. We're not only seeing them lose 11 in a row, but like I mentioned earlier, most of them are 2+ run margin defeats. So that's why I said if you're laying the run and a half against the Cubs, you're doing extremely well right now. It's just been a pathetic run for them. Baltimore and Tampa Bay. The Rays have lost now 2 in a row to those feisty Twins, and we'll get to the Twins in just a second. Of course, they're playing tonight. Matt Harvey, it looks like Colin McHugh spot start for him out of the bullpen, and he's started before many times, going back to his days with the Houston Astros. So he's definitely used to being a starting pitcher. Minus 255 home favorites here, 8.5 the total in this game. I'm just totally off this game completely. I mean, I took a shot with the Rays off a loss. I thought it was a good spot for them. And Luis Patino just couldn't find the strike zone, couldn't find the plate in the very first inning of that game. Twins get an early lead. And to be honest with you, I was disappointed with the way the Rays didn't hit Charlie Barnes. I thought that guy was not very good in his first outing, and the Rays, unfortunately, didn't get a whole lot against him. They rallied to tie the game, but they left the bases loaded. And they gave the Twins a chance to rescue themselves in that game, and they did, getting the 5-4 win over the Rays. So 2 losses in a row. I mean, the Rays should win this game, but come on, minus 260. I'm not laying that price. There's not much value at all. And Matt Harvey has actually been decent at times since the All-Star break. So I'm willing to give him that. I don't think it's going to be something that keeps up. The total here, surprisingly, the total is only 8.5 here, which is a lower total for a Baltimore game. So maybe it goes over, but I'm just going to stay off this game entirely. Connor, anything here? Orioles, Rays.
Yeah, the Rays. I thought they hit more too. It was 4-4, bases loaded, 1 out. They didn't score any there, and then they end up losing the game. The Polanco sacrifice fly. Harvey's been a lot better. I don't blame anyone. The Orioles didn't get it done yesterday at their team total. I was looking at both sides, and yeah, I think you maybe go the full game. I still don't trust Harvey. Maybe I just need to stay far away from this one. But if I were on this game, I like the dog a little bit in the Orioles, but I'd look the over 8.5. The Rays have been really good at home. They want to win. They got their ass whipped twice by the Twins. So it's just the price is too huge at minus, 255, or even the run line minus 140. So I'd look team total or look the over here.
Yeah, the one good thing for the Rays is that there's one stat that stands out here. 10-1 in their last 11 games with a team with a losing record of 40% or less win percentage, and that's Baltimore. So that's what the Rays do, right? They beat up on bad teams, and certainly they're going to be facing one here. I mean, Baltimore had just a dreadful series against Boston over the weekend. Not that should be all that shocking. Skee, what do you think here? Orioles and Rays.
All right, and you made me realize that the database I use has a flaw. It shows me the last time the pitcher face the opponent, but it does not show me the year. It just shows me the month. So I want to ask you
Okay.
guys, because I do not remember McHugh. Do you remember him pitching earlier this year?
I will check that right
Starting.
now. Starting
Okay.
this year in terms of
Let me
starts
look
for Connor McHugh, not
Colin.
for Colin McHugh for the for the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't think he started this year earlier. Let me just double check on that. There's a couple of sites I use. I will see if we can get some info on that. I
It's
think
all
he did
good.
actually start once earlier this year, but his overall ERA this year is actually not that bad by any stretch of the imagination here for the Rays.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's not bad. But
I
he's
guess
used to
they're going
being a
with him
start.
and then Fleming, or are they
Yeah.
not doing that? Because I had Fleming listed on a lot of my things. So yeah,
Well,
I
I
guess
think
they're doing the one.
Fleming can't be I think they've had enough of Fleming. Yeah, and I don't blame them. He's been
But he's been
awful,
good at home.
but he's been good at
That's what I
home.
mean.
So yeah,
He just
that's
on the
true. On
road
the
he
road, he's
gets
been yeah,
shellacked.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the plan is
Well,
bring him in after McHugh. So we'll have to wait and see on
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
But
That's what I thought.
yeah, that's why
I think
for
that's
me,
what they
it's I
did
just
last time too. They brought
But
Fleming in after him.
okay.
yeah, I could see that
Yeah.
happening. I think that might be their plan actually. Yep.
So how I capped this game, like I was looking at both pitchers. Harvey, I mean, he's been pretty solid as of late. I look just from the first inning, because I like a couple different ways in this game. He hasn't allowed a run his last 5 starts in the first inning. And I was looking at McHugh. My database shows 4 starts for him, and he went like 2 innings in all of them and didn't give up anything. So I was expecting maybe the first run to not get a score, but outside of that, I mean, the Orioles, their bullpen is going to give it up, whether it's Harvey or whether it's he comes out. 9 ERA over the last 10. They've allowed 6+ runs, 10 of their last 11 games. So I think after that first inning, you get a lot of runs from both teams. The Rays bullpen hasn't been great either. 6.66 ERA the last 10. And I think the full game can go over, but I probably would just play Rays team total. Like I said, the Orioles been allowing runs, and the Rays have gone over 5.5, 7 of their last 9 games. So I like Rays team total. But if I'm playing no run first inning, I probably will live play the team total. I just have to make up my mind. So like the Rays team total, and I like no run first inning right now.
Yeah, if you like that, Ski, that's a good look. I mean, if you think that, because you'll catch probably drop to 7.5. We do it a lot live. If you're back in the Discord, Sharpie, they love to do that. Just wait till that first inning. They think it'll go over. It drops down 7.5, 7, maybe an inning or two, and then boom, hit the over. And you're good.
Yep.
Double cash, yeah.
All right, we got Oakland and the Chicago White Sox. Frankie Montas, Dallas Keuchel on the mound. Even money. Kind of disappointing because I do have a bet on this game, but I'll admit I thought the price would be a little bit better than this. Even money total sitting at 9. I do like Oakland a little bit here. First 5 in full game. Look, as when the White Sox play good teams outside their own division, I get worried about this team. Look, we saw what happened against the Yankees over the weekend. Couldn't get the job done. Lose the last couple of that series. They feasted on bad teams most of the year. AL Central teams. I worry about their ability to play in Oakland, play a Boston, play a Yankees, play a Houston, play teams that are going to be in the playoffs, because I just find their record against those winning teams hasn't been as that great this year, the White Sox. And Dallas Keuchel is slumping. He's given up 4 runs or more in 3 of his last 4 starts. The White Sox are 0-4, winless as a team in his last 4 starts. He has a 4.1 ERA at home. Frankie Montas has been pretty darn consistent going back to June 26th. He's on a run now of baseball where he's given up just 2 runs or less in 7 of his last 8 starts. That's pretty impressive. And the Oakland Athletics have a winning record in those games. He's won 3 straight starts, given up just 5 runs in his last 19 innings. He has never faced the White Sox, so that's usually an advantage to the pitcher. Oakland is off a disappointing loss to a bad Texas team yesterday. Definitely that's not going to sit well, losing 2 of the 3 games, to be honest with you, in Texas, including 7-4 yesterday. But I do think they can bounce back here. Just the White Sox, to me, they're cruising to first place in the AL Central. There's just not that sense of urgency at this late stage of the season when they're playing a team like this, Oakland, who are fighting for their wild card lives. So I'm liking Oakland here, first 5 and full game split in this matchup. Connor, what do you think here? A's White Sox.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Montas has been a lot better lately, and even on the road. And man, my guy Keuchel, here he is. Can never figure him out. He gets hit a lot. I guess I lean the A's a little bit here, and they're favored first 5. I mean, they think the same. I have the A's minus 140, the White Sox plus 120. The White Sox are better at home, but you talked about it all year, more on the road. But even at home, they they don't beat up good teams. They beat the shit out of that division. I'd only look the A's here a little bit. Maybe their team total or just take them straight to win. Montas has been a lot better, but he can always have an outing where he can get blown up. But his stuff's been pretty good lately. So I lean A's. I haven't bet it at all. And there's some good numbers. Chapman, 6 for 15, 2 homers. A few other guys. Gomes, 9 for 25, a homer I wrote down. So a few guys that have hit Keuchel well for the A's.
By the way, the Oakland bullpen has better numbers overall this year than the White Sox bullpen, and better numbers in the last 10 games than the White Sox bullpen as well. So keep that in. Like this Kimbrel Hendricks experiment,
It's not working out.
which everybody was excited about. It's not been great. It hasn't hit the ground running since they got Kimbrel at the deadline. So that's the problem here right now with the White Sox at the back end of their bullpen. The A's, by the way, are mashing lefties big time, and that's something that stuck out to me in liking this as well. Against lefties in their last 10 games, 306 as a team, 8.5 runs per game. They've really been good against lefty pitching as a lineup lately. So
stack that lineup with righties. Yeah, they can really stack it with righties and leave Olsen, who can hit lefties.
Yeah, absolutely. So that could be, it's going to be a tricky navigation process tonight, I think, for Dallas Keuchel against this lineup. Skee, what do you think here? Oakland and the White Sox.
Well, really quick, I forgot to mention just last 2 weeks versus righties, Rays are 5th weighted runs created plus. And then I look at the Athletics here today, last 2 weeks versus lefties, they're number 4. So I expect them to have success versus Keuchel, who's given up, 15 runs in his last 23 and a third. I also look at the last 30 days between both of these teams. Athletics, top 10 OPS, weighted on bases average, or 4th weighted runs created plus, and White Sox bottom 10 in all those categories. So I look at the bullpen, like you said, the last 10 days, 3.07 for Athletics, 3.56 for White Sox. And Athletics has won 9 of their last 12 games. So I'm not the kind of guy who usually does a lot of splitting. I kind of usually try to pick between first 5 and full game. But this might be the one game where I split it up like you, Ian, and just take both. So I like the Athletics quite a bit today. And also, I didn't mention Montes, but his last 19, he's only given up 5. So I think we're great whichever way you choose to go, full game or first 5.
Yeah, there's a reason I started doing that, the first 5 full game split with not every side, but the majority. It's because I got frustrated with, winning, being on the first 5, losing that, and they'd win the full game, or being on the full game and they'd win the first 5, they'd lose the full game. I got sick of that. I at least want to get out with a split. Obviously the goal is win both the first 5 and the full game, but too many times I was on the losing end of a split because I only bet one of the two, either the first 5 or the full game. So that's really why I started incorporating that as of late. And yeah, the A's bullpen outstanding the last 30 days. So we'll see if that can continue here today. Next up, we've got the Houston Astros and the Kansas City Royals. Jake Odorizzi, Cesar Hernandez. We've got the Astros minus 150 road favorites, 10 the total in this game today. We've got the Astros coming off a 3-1 loss against the Angels yesterday. Offense just couldn't get things going for them in that game. Jake Odorizzi on the mound here for the Astros tonight, 4.59 ERA. He's coming off a much better start last time against Colorado, but the Rockies, we know, can't trust that lineup on the road. He shut him out in 5 innings. Before that, kind of labored a bit, crushed by the Dodgers, struggled against the Mariners, the Rangers, the White Sox. So really, since the All-Star break, he's had a few rough starts, much better in his last outing. We'll see how he fares here. He's faced the Royals a lot, going back to his Minnesota days, Jake Odorizzi. So we'll see if he's able to navigate this lineup. Most of these Royals hitters should be fairly familiar with Jake Odorizzi. And when you look at it, Whit Merrifield, 9 for 21, 3 home runs. That's a Jack of the Day candidate right there. Sal Perez, 7 for 23 and a home run, 304 average. He came up, you stepped up yesterday for me with the homer. I think that's another look you can go with here. 4 for 12, 333. Andrew Benintendi against Odorizzi. So a lot of good numbers there. The Carlos Hernandez thing is interesting. He keeps pitching well. 0, 1, 1 in his last 3 starts. He's pitched very, very well for the Royals. They've gone 2-1 in his 3 starts. He has a 3.6 ERA at home, but as a starter, other than one rough outing against the Tigers, July 24th, he's given up 2 runs or less in every other start. Can he keep it going here, though? The one thing that does concern me a little bit is, the Astros, when they don't hit one game, the next day, they're usually a lot better in terms of, their lineup. When they get shut down the previous game, a lot of times they come back and put up a solid number in the next game. And I'm worried that could happen tonight. So kind of lean over 10, but I'm willing to maybe take a shot here, at least in the first 5 innings with the Royals here. I know the Royals, by the way to go, Chris Bubich. You just take your team right out of the game when you give up 7 runs in the first 2 innings yesterday. People are saying, wow, Happ was terrific. I don't know. I'm not buying that totally. When you're down 7-0 after the first 2 innings of a game, you're almost in that quit mode as a lineup. Like, we're down so much so early in the game, and the rest of the game, those bats were feeble. They were weak. They were rushing. They were swinging at everything. All that slop from Happ, because they knew they were down big. They weren't coming back in that game. It's almost a wave the white flag mentality, when you got down that big. So that, I think, is what really made Happ look good. He got the big lead. He attacked the strike zone. Kansas City's just swinging away, trying to get the game done, knowing they probably weren't going to come back in that game. They're off a terrible loss yesterday. But I tell you what, Odorizzi's not in great form, and the Royals have clubbed him in the past. So I am going to take a little small shot here with the Royals in the first 5 innings. I lean over the total as well. Conor Mac, what do you think, Astros and Royals?
Yeah, when the Cardinals were scoring there, this was like 4-0. I was like, all right, yeah, there's runs, because I had the over too with the Royals team total, and then it got to 7-0. I was like, all right, oh shit, this could be, and it kind of was. It was just, that was it. The Royals just swung at everything. The game was freaking over. That was horrible. This is a tough one. I had the Astros yesterday. They didn't show up. I could see them bounce back, but I don't love going with Odorizzi on the mound. If they just leave LA and got to go to Kansas City here. Hernandez has been good, which is shocking. This guy didn't go past single A ball, and they picked him up out of nowhere, and he's, pitched well. So I don't think that continues. So I lean the Astros. I get the Royals as a home dog. They see Odorizzi. It's an interesting game for me. I see it from a ton of different sides. So when I start going like that, I think I'm just going to be off this one.
Yeah, the Royals team, I actually, you know what? The more I think about it, I don't know if I just don't love Astros off a loss. I mean, especially against a team they've dominated like Kansas City. So I might go with the team total for the Royals instead. 4.5.
I hope you get it.
That way, yeah. Take out the what Hernandez may or may not do against the Astros and focus on Odorizzi's kind of been roughed up lately, and the Royals have hit Odorizzi a lot in the past. And if you just focus on that, for that reason, the Royals team total over might be what I choose to do with this game instead of the first 5 money line. What do you think here, Skee, with the Astros Royals?
I disagree with you, Ian. I think if you like the Royals, you like them because you like Hernandez. I don't think you like them because of anything their bats are going to do. The last, let me just go back. They haven't scored over 4.5. I don't think the last 4 games. So, and you're looking at the Astros. I mean, like you said, Odorizzi had a good start last time out. He went, I think, like 5 innings, didn't give up anything. I mean, if he can keep that going, the Royals they're not going to see a lot of runs. The Astros bullpen 2.10 ERA the last 10 days. So I would look more towards Royals team total under. And I saw somebody in the comments say Royals allowed 41 runs their last 6 games. I didn't look it up but I'll take it. Royals bullpen in the last 10 days, 5.44 ERA. I think you play the Astros here. And also, weighted runs created plus the last 2 weeks versus righties. Royals are 28. I don't want them scoring anything. So I like Royals team total under 4.5, and I like Astros on this game, or I like Astros first 5. No, not Astros first 5. Astros full game. I want the bullpen included. Full game and team total under for the Royals.
All right, full game and team total under for the Royals. Yeah, it's a game where you could go in a bunch of different places based on these two pitchers, these two teams in terms of form. Yeah, I can't argue with that. The Royals didn't hit very much against St. Louis, and they're facing Happ and frickin' and Lester. In two of those games, that does worry me a little bit here. I mean, Odorizzi. I think Odorizzi's not very good, but look, I didn't think Happ and Lester were very good either. And look, the Royals had trouble with them, right? So that's that could be the worry that I have here with the Royals. Cleveland, Minnesota. We got Cal Quantrill and Griffin Jacks, the pitching matchup up here. Minnesota minus 130 home favorites, 9.5 the total. I give Minnesota a ton of credit, right? Unlike the Cubs, they've shown up to ball after the trade deadline, after trading Cruz a couple and Barrios and a couple other guys. They have still been able to get the job done. And win games. Very impressive to take the last two games against the Tampa Bay Rays, one of the best teams in baseball. But now they're favored, right? And now the odds makers are saying, you know what, we're paying attention to what the Twins are doing. And yeah, Griffin Jacks has been good. There's no question there. But I'll tell you what, I'm a Cal Quantrill guy. I'm on Cleveland here, first 5. I've been riding Quantrill lately. He's a dog here in this game. I don't want the Cleveland bullpen. But I want Quantrill right now. He's been terrific, and I've backed him now a couple of times. He's in his best groove of the year. A little letdown maybe for the Twins after the Rays series. Not that it's a big letdown, but come on. You actually come off a good series against one of the best teams. Now you play Cleveland, who's a mediocre, up and down, inconsistent team. I don't think it's the greatest of spots for the Twins. I like the way Quantrill's throwing the ball right now. Jax has been good too, don't get me wrong, but we've been riding Quantrill a lot the last few starts, and I'm going to look his way again here. First 5 innings for Cleveland in this one. Yeah, no part of the Cleveland bullpen. 100% correct. LJ from H-Town is right. I want no part of that Cleveland bullpen right now. This is definitely only a first 5 look, because I remember the last time I took Cleveland and Quantrill, they won the first 5, but they blew the game against Oakland. Oakland came back and beat them because the bullpen couldn't get it done. So I like Cleveland here, but just the first 5. Connor, what do you think here? Cleveland, Minnesota.
Shout out to the chat. Just wanted to say, everyone, hit the like button, hit the share, all that fun shit. We appreciate it. I'm with you here a little bit. The one thing I know, he's a different pitcher. If I go back to his June 25th start against the Twins, a lot of these guys have hit him well. And he went 4 1/3 and gave up 6 at Minnesota. But like you said, he's been really, really good. He's been good for me too. I've took him 2 or 3 times in his last, 4 starts or so. So I wouldn't lay it with Jax. I just don't. I think he's pitched okay as well. Twins, maybe they won a few at home, but I can't lay a number with them. If I had a free play, I'd take Indians first 5 as well at plus 115.
Yeah, there's going to be good spots to take Minnesota the rest of the season. They are convincing me
Yeah.
that there's going to be some spots and situations and matchups to take this Minnesota team. But I'm talking about taking them as a dog, taking them at a nice price. Minus 130 with them, that's a totally different price range for this Twins team. Because now they're expected to win. And I don't like that quite as much. Twins is a favorite. No, thank you. And I like Quantrill. Quantrill's throwing well right now. I know he got roughed up at Minnesota, but he was not in good form at that time. You got to separate his seasons. It's almost like cut it in half. Before the first half was not good. He's in that second half now where he has been good. Remember when he faced Minnesota, got roughed up by them in that start here in Minnesota. That was when he was really in bad form. He's in better form now. And I think he'll pitch better. I think the values with Cleveland here, and Quantrill in very good form right now, first 5 innings, in my opinion. What do you think here, Skee? Cleveland, Minnesota.
Ron Crawford, if you're here in the chat, let me know real quick. But I'm gonna disagree, Ian, again, and I hate to keep disagreeing because I know you're really great at what you do. But
not yesterday.
Hey, it happens. We all have a bad day here and there. I think the Twins are favored for a reason. Like these teams that don't have winning records, and I'm asking for Ron Crawford because he's the guy who pointed this out to me. But when these teams with bad records are favored, like they're favored for a reason. And I get it. Cal Quantrill, like, why wouldn't they be the favorite here when he's been pitching as well as he's been pitching? Like his last 6 starts, he usually goes, 6 innings? He's only given up 6 runs. Why are the Indians not the favorite? Yeah, I mean, I look at the bullpen.
Why Jax pitched well. They just beat the Rays. That's why I think. Yep.
Well, yeah, Indians, they've
Yeah, Jax
lost.
has been pitching well
You're right.
lately.
His last 20 in the third, he's only given up 6 as well. So, I mean, for that reason, I do like first 5 under. But Indians, they've lost 7 of their last 12. Twins have won 8 of their last 12. Slight bullpen advantage for the Twins. I mean, Griffin Jax can pitch a good game, just like you said. So I just think the Twins are favored for a reason. I like them to win this game, and I like the first 5 under.
Yeah, I
All
like
right.
it
I
too a
do
little
like
bit,
that.
Ski.
First 5
But
under.
I
Yeah.
just, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about it earlier this morning, but I don't know. I could see one of these guys get hit a little bit, but yeah, I lean that way for sure.
Yeah, I could see it being runs it being at a premium early. Jax has been like 2.76 ERA. Quantrill's got a less than 1 ERA in his last 3 starts. So yeah, this definitely could be a good first 5 under. I would agree with that. That makes sense. Looking for runs to be few and far between early in the game. We got Sandy. Actually, you know what? No, we 2 more games. This is the last game. Then we'll do the 7th inning stretch. San Diego, Colorado. We've got Ryan Weathers, Antonio Senzatella. Padres minus 125 are favorites, 12.5 the total in this game. A big number here in Colorado. I'm on the over here. I know I don't usually bet these overs of 12.5 in Colorado very often. I don't trust Senzatella. The Padres lineup with Fernando Tatis back in it, it's completely different. And we saw it in just one game. All of a sudden, you've got some length and some depth to that lineup when you have Fernando Tatis there to go with Machado, to go with Will Myers, to go with the Crone Zone, Jake Cronenworth. And all of a sudden, Hosmer, you've all of a sudden got a bunch of sticks there in that lineup that can do damage. And I initially was going to fade San Diego here, but look, he is that big of a deal to this team. And look what happened. This was a lifeless team struggling, reeling. Things were going off the cliff for the Padres prior to yesterday. And then in one game, they get Fernando Tatis Jr. back, and they just absolutely crush Arizona 8-2. He is that big. Like, he's just emotional, energy, all of that. He lit a spark for the team yesterday. No doubt about that with his return. And so I'm hesitant now. I could see maybe a little momentum coming from that for this San Diego team. And look, Senzatella, I don't trust him a whole lot. He's kind of regressed in his last few starts. 5.4 ERA in his last 3 starts. He's given up 8 runs in his last 10 innings. Both of those, or his last, actually he hasn't started. He has last 2 starts against the Padres, I should say. He's given up 8 runs in 10 innings. But he's kind of hit the wall a little bit the last 3. Not quite as sharp, not quite as good. I think he'll struggle here a bit with the Padres. And I've got no issues at all going against Ryan Weathers here for the Padres. He has been absolutely brutal lately. And the Rockies, we know where they at home. They're a different offensive team, and I expect them to do damage. They're averaging almost 5 runs per game against lefties this year. To put this in context, here's what we're looking at with Colorado. For the year, they're averaging 4.4 runs per game as a team. At home, they average nearly 6 runs per game. Look at the jump in the Colorado Rockies production offensively when they play at Coors Field. It really is amazing here. And look, Ryan Weathers has given up home runs. He's given up hard contact. He is not someone that I trust one bit in this kind of environment. So, yeah, it's a high total, but it's extremely high for a reason. And there's a reason it opened 12. It's 12.5, and I'm now even seeing some 13s. There's a reason people are betting this thing up. I agree with it. Over the total for me. Connor, what do you think? San Diego, Colorado.
Yeah, a couple of rough pitchers here. Senzatella isn't great, but he's been a little bit. I mean, he gives you 6 innings, 3 or 4 runs. Ryan Weathers is, unless he gets back on track, and I don't think so. He's a spider tag guy. I mean, July 30th, that was at home, 8 runs to Colorado. They had 3 jacks off him. Then he gave up 6 to Arizona in 3 innings, and then Miami got 6 right away in 4 2/3. So while there might be runs scored, I mean, and I'm so crazy, I was thinking the first 5 under here at 7. I see a 7. If it was 7.5, I might go under, even with these 2 horrible pitchers. That's how crazy I am. But I got to go Rockies. They're back at home, and they're a dog, plus 115. There could be a ton of runs, and it could be wild, but no way. Ryan Weathers on the road, minus 125. Do I want to back the Padres? So give me the Rockies here at plus 115.
Yeah, I mean, I lean Rockies too. First 5 full game, I do. I really do, because I think they're a different team at home. But I don't know. There's something telling me that, look, they get Tatis back yesterday. Everybody's excited again. It seemed like everybody played better. Everybody's focused. Everybody's locked in. Everybody's doing things a little bit better, a little bit sharper. You're better defensively. You pitch a little better on the mound. You take better at bats collectively as a group. Just
They
because
feel
of
better
having
because
that
he's
guy
hitting
back.
home runs. Ian.
Yes, that
He's
too.
hitting jacks, and
Calms
they're going, "Oh
everybody
shit, we
down.
got the
Yeah,
lead."
and you
Yeah,
relax. You play with that. You play with confidence. You relax a little bit. You're all tense when you're losing, like they were, to Arizona in those first 2 games, and losing to the Marlins earlier this week. I mean, there was definitely some tension adding up. They see Tatis come back, their leader, their best player. He gets them right on the board right away yesterday, and it seemed like the team just took off from there. And now with him back, I worry they put a little run together. But still, from the side perspective here, I would still lean Colorado. No doubt about that. I want no part of Weathers on the road laying a price, but I'm just giving you the caveat here that the positive vibes of having Tatis back could be legitimate for San Diego here. But I do like the over. That's what I'm going to stick to. Skee, what do you think here? San Diego, Colorado.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that over at all. Ryan Weathers has been terrible. His last few starts, 11 and 2/3 innings, he's given up 20 runs. And one of those was versus the Rockies. And in that start, he went 4 innings and gave up 8. So I would expect them to hit him again here. Senzatella, his career versus the Padres, he's 6-3. His last 16 and 2/3, he's given up 10. Rockies, last 2 weeks, weighted runs created plus versus righties, they're number 4. So I think that they'll get after Weathers. I think that Rockies at home has been pretty profitable. I looked at them. This is my thing. I looked at them as a home dog. They're 20-16, I believe, on the money line. When they're a home dog on the run line, they're 23-10. So maybe this is another one that I'll kind of do it your style, Ian. I'll put a half on the money line and a half on the +1.5, and hope to cash them both.
All right. Yeah, not a bad strategy to go with for sure with that. And by the way, Senzatella, his whip is like 1.8 over the last month. I mean, and it has not necessarily shown up in the runs he's allowed, but he has given up walks, he's given up hits, and he's kind of getting out of it. He's walking a tightrope, basically. Like, there's guys on base every inning with him pitching lately, and he hasn't always been cracked for that big inning. It could happen at some point against Senzatella, and it might happen tonight. So, especially with them feeling better with Tatis back. Now, there is concern Tatis may not be in the lineup tonight because there's hesitancy to put him in back-to-back days. I am reading that. So keep an eye on that. That's why, in terms of betting the over, I probably like the over with Tatis in more. And if he is not in the lineup for whatever reason, they rest him because they don't want to put him in back-to-back days right away, then I might turn toward Colorado, maybe as being the better bet, first 5 or full game split there. So keep an eye on that. It's not for sure yet that we see Tatis in the lineup tonight on a back-to-back. They're being cautious with him coming off that injury. All right, we've got
Really quick,
7th
Ian.
inning stretch. So there we go. Yeah, go ahead, Skee.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I know you shut out the chat anyway, but I see my boy popped up, Ron Crawford. He said, "Skee, what's up?" I was just letting the people know, man. You give out a lot of great info, and you let me know today that the Twins are favored for a reason. So that's the guy I'm talking
All
about
right.
right there.
There he is, Ron Crawford. Very good. Yeah, I mean, it's you don't see them favored often, but they are tonight against Cleveland. All right, Lucky Power, Wyatt Chapman, George Gutierrez, Ninja 13, Real Deal Prime, Lance LaRose, Abel Alvarez, Cheshire Cat, Dom Ricci. Disappointing for those Mets. We'll get to them. Their game is still on the schedule. We haven't gotten to it yet. LJ from H-Town, Raw Dog 12, Bill McDonald, the real DJX 214, Ix Nizzle 420, 586 Soldier, Eric Jones, G Money Bags, Kyle Hintlian. Great stuff to have all of you guys in the chat. Robert Sherry, yes, Whit Merrifield at that price. I would look at that as well. Kevin DeFreitas, I should say. Welcome in. You donated recently to the show. We appreciate it. Matt Paulins, Stimmy OG, Creo Key, Raymond Reddington. We already mentioned him. Ron Crawford, of course. Crystal Warren. Let's see as we continue on. Leroy Flood, Brian Watson. And I believe that is it. Eric Turnsey, there he is, of course. I almost missed Turnsey. There we go. Eric Thomas. Great stuff. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Let's go to our last two games on this Monday slate. New York Mets and the San Francisco Giants. We've got, it looks like Rich Hill, a.k.a. Dick Mountain, on the mound here for the New York Mets. Kevin Gossman for the San Francisco Giants. San Francisco minus 200. Home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. So Noah Syndergaard had a very interesting post on Instagram a few days ago saying, are the Mets are the Major League Baseball trying to screw us over purposely? Like, how the hell do you put the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball at home at Citi Field against the Dodgers, and you have them now playing the Sunday night game, not Sunday afternoon, but Sunday night game, and now you have them flying out to the Bay Area, San Francisco, without a day off to start this series on Monday night. You know, I think Noah Syndergaard's a little, I don't know what it is. He goes overboard with some of his posts on social media, but he's kind of right here. I mean, they are kind of getting the short end of the stick. They are kind of getting the shaft here, the New York Mets, from a scheduling standpoint. I mean, you play Sunday Night Baseball against the Dodgers last night. Now you got to play without a day off, travel East Coast to West Coast, play this red-hot Giants team. Not exactly a fair situation in my mind here. Well, the Giants, of course, played at home yesterday. They're just sitting there waiting for this game Sunday night. So tough stuff for the New York Mets here tonight. And we could say the same about the Dodgers. That's true. Dodgers have to play tonight, but Dodgers are playing Pittsburgh, crap-ass baseball team. Unfortunately for the Mets, they're playing the San Francisco Giants, one of the best teams in baseball right now. That's the problem. Kevin Gossman, what do we make of Kevin Gossman? Has not been necessarily as sharp since the All-Star break. Not that we shouldn't have expected that, but you knew there had to be some kind of regression just a little bit. We have seen it early on following the break, gave up 3 runs, 4 runs, did bounce back and pitch a lot better last start, 1 run, 3 hits in that game. We'll see if he continues it here, or the last 2 he's been better, 3 runs in his last 11 innings against both Arizona, both of those starts. So we'll see if he can keep that up here after those 2 rough starts following the All-Star break. You got Rich Hill on the mound for the Mets. How long is he going to pitch? That's the question. It just doesn't give you a lot of length. That's the concern. 3.2, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5. That's the number of innings pitched by Hill in his last 6 starts. And yeah, unfortunately, they didn't get any sort of quality start or length out of Carrasco last night. They had to go into the bullpen early here. This has that feel of potentially a game where, and Dom Ricci's kind of hinting at it, maybe the offenses are slow out of the gate early. We'll have to wait and see. Rich Hill's one of those tough people to handicap for me because I still don't think he's terrific. He somehow gets by and can pitch well, and it stuns me when he does. But I don't know if I trust him here against the Giants lineup, who have hit the ball very well at home all year, that are right now are averaging 5.5 runs per game against lefties in the last 10 games. This is definitely either San Francisco or nothing for me. This is just a brutal spot for a Mets team that is obviously in rough shape. They need to stop the bleeding. 3-7 in their last 10 games. They play a good to decent team. They just don't win. They sweep Washington at home. And other than that, they get swept at Philly. And as we saw just over this past weekend, they get swept by the Dodgers at home. They're just not beating good teams right now. So I'm not going to ask the Mets to beat a good team tonight. I'm not involved in the game. I'm passing personally, but certainly situational advantage for San Francisco. I mean, forcing the Mets to fly east to west coast with no day off. It's a brutal scheduling spot for the Mets. And first 5 under, I wouldn't talk anyone out of that. Dom's on that. I'm not involved in the game, but I could see, sleepy start, right? We've seen this before. Long travel day for the Mets, long travel, East Coast to West Coast, no day off, and sometimes you could be a little asleep at the plate and lead to a lower scoring start to the game. Definitely could see something like that. Connor, what do you think here, Mets and Giants?
Yeah, you nailed basically everything I was going for there. I think this is a sleepy start. In the first 5 under 4.5. I looked at it last night. It's kind of a brutal schedule for them to go to do this. And I like Giants, yeah. So Mets kind of sleepwalking maybe early. Giants score first. Giants first 5. I'd take their team total. I'd be on the Giants here. But yeah, I like that first 5 under 4.5 a little bit as well. I'll be on it somehow. I just got to put it together. I haven't decided what I want to do, but I'll be on the Giants some form here.
All right, Giants in some form. Skee, what do you like here, if anything? Mets and Giants.
Yeah, it could be a sleepy start, but it's not going to be a sleepy start for the Giants. I could look first five, but it's too pricey. And I understand if you want to go run line Giants, but why not just go with? I mean, Blitz is in here. He already knows my guy Blitz, but why not just go? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Giants team total continues to cash as long as it's less than 5. They've had 5 or more runs, 14 of their last 17 games. And Mets bullpen, they haven't been terrible, but ERA close to 5. I think they can hit Rich Hill for like 3 or 4 runs and get 1 or 2 more from the bullpen. So, like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Giants team total over 4.5.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
worked for
that
me.
has been,
I've hit 5 out of 6. I've played that. Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've been going over that team total very nicely with the Giants, and I think people underrate this offense, especially at home when, of course, their home record's been terrific. But I don't think people understand how quality a lineup it is. You look at Bryant, obviously getting him from the Cubs helps, but Posey's had a resurgent year. Now they're going to get – is Evan Longoria still have something in the tank? He's ready to come back as well, and he's back now on this Giants lineup. And then you got Crawford, you got Solano, you've got Austin Slater, Darren Ruff, you got Lamonte Wade Jr., who's going to be a nice hitter, has shown you what he's capable of. I mean, people sleep on the lineup because it doesn't have a ton of big names, but no question about that. They have a better lineup collectively as a group than people think, and they've shown it all year. And I've been in the camp all season long. I'm buying into the Giants. They're not a fluke. They're not a fraud. They're here to stay. They're a good team. They're going to be tough in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to be World Series champs because playoffs is a different animal. And I do still worry about Gossman. Some of these guys, Gossman, DeSclafani, Alex Wood in a playoff situation. Can they keep it going in the playoff baseball? Starting pitching is a lot better, a lot different, I should say, than regular season. So let's see how those guys do in the pressure cooker. That remains to be seen. Final game, guys, Pittsburgh Pirates, LA Dodgers. We've got Steven Brault on the mound for the Pirates. No starter confirmed for the Dodgers, but it will be a bullpen game for them. Again, with Clayton Kershaw, still out. Julio Urias now battling with a calf injury. Trevor Bauer ain't coming back. You've got a little bit of a depleted rotation, so they're going to turn to a combination of relief arms for this game tonight. The LA Dodgers. Dodgers minus 260, home favorites, 9 the total. So it's going to be a bullpen day for the Dodgers. I don't know if that's a big deal because I don't know if I trust Pittsburgh to hit even a bunch of relievers at this point for the Dodgers. They got held to 1 run in the last 2 games of that series against the Milwaukee Brewers, losing 6-0 and 2-1. So this lineup for the Pirates has really had some trouble. Dodgers playing good, obviously, right now, 7-1 in their last 8 games. Very nice road trip. They won 2 of 3 against Philly, swept the Mets. They end up going 5-1 on that road trip. Really could have swept the road trip that close, to a 6-game sweep on that road trip. But, you're going to have a bullpen day. I know Pittsburgh's lousy. I don't want them. Brault's been decent, though, 3 ERA. But you got the Dodgers now after, playing the Mets, Sunday Night Baseball, the same thing as I talked about with the Mets, East Coast to West Coast travel without a day off. If you want to be ballsy and you want to take the Pirates, as George Gutierrez is intimating here, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a horrible bet. I don't know if I trust the Pirates that much. That's the issue. But from a spot perspective, yes, there are things to like about this spot for Pittsburgh with the Dodgers off the road trip and going with a bullpen day. But I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger. We're still talking about a Pirates team that's 1-9 in their last 10 games. They just have not been winning. That's tough to go with them, even though the Dodgers are in a little bit of a tricky scheduling spot. No day off, going from East Coast to West Coast. So it's a game I'm going to end up passing. Connor, what do you think here? Pirates and the Dodgers.
I'll wait for the line. I just have it might be Jackson. I know Brault's in for the Pirates, right? That's what you got?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Okay, because I don't really have. Okay. I think if he's going, I know it's a bullpen day. I think Brault can pitch well. I think this is a sleepy spot. I like the under here, the first 5 under. He's already pitched well his first couple starts. I think he could give up a couple runs. Dodgers a little tired. And who knows? Pirates can't hit much. So even off whoever the Dodgers put out. So I'm going to look to when this line's supposed to the first 5 under in this one. Man, I want to take the Pirates. I don't know if I get their first 5.
It shows you how bad Pittsburgh's offense has been. Brault's pitched good, actually, in 2 starts. He's given up 3 runs in 9 innings. That's not terrible. 3 runs, 8 hits in 9 innings. Solid numbers, but they lost both games. They lost 4-2 to Milwaukee and 4-1 to St. Louis in those 2 games. And that's because they're just not getting any run support right now. So I think the under first 5 does make some sense. I'm tempted by Pittsburgh first 5. Obviously, I don't want the Pittsburgh bullpen. It's a dreadful, disastrous, awful bullpen. And it's been that way for weeks. But first 5 Pittsburgh is awfully. If you want to be safer, you don't even have to do money line. You could do plus a half a run, and you'll still get a decent price on that with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm going to mull that over. I'm going to contemplate that because I think from a spot perspective, I could see this being flat ass spot for the Dodgers tonight, and maybe Pittsburgh, can hang in there early. Yeah, plus a half a run for the Pittsburgh Pirates is plus 140. You still get a very good plus price with the plus half a run on the Pirates. I might consider that. We'll see, but I lean in that direction. I have to think it over a little longer, but I lean that way. What do you think, Skee? Pirates, Dodgers?
I don't know what it is to really like about the Pirates. Like, I'm not sure what, like, honestly, they've lost 10 of their last 12 games. Their pitching is terrible. 5.72 ERA the last 10. They can't hit really. They're batting 214 the last 20 days. Versus the Dodgers, specifically, they played them 3 times. They're batting 170 versus LA. They've gone under. They've gone under 3.5. What is it here? Sorry, I lost track. They've gone under 3.5. 7 of their last 9 games. Yeah. Dodgers have held their opponents under 3.5, 9 of the last 13. Dodgers bullpen 2.06 ERA. So it's a Dodgers bullpen day. It doesn't bother me. It's only one guy, and you guys probably know who it is that I'm scared to come out of the bullpen for LA. And I'll pray that he doesn't give it up at the end. So I like Pirates team total under 3.5.
All right, dare the Pirates to score 4 runs. And that's something they've had trouble doing of late. Of course, just 1 run in the last 2 games combined against the Brewers Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's just the flats. It's just I've seen this play out so many times just this year alone. The team that had no day off, that had a lot of travel, especially off the Sunday night game, and the next night they just are completely up, flat and risk losing the game. I'm not saying that's going to happen. And Pittsburgh may be so bad they don't take advantage of this situation. So that's always the thing you got to think about going into a game like this. Great stuff, though. Skee and Conor on this Monday card. We will get to, by the way, hit the like button. We have 200 live viewers. Smash it. Hit the like button. We appreciate that. It helps us out. Share the video if you can as well. Get the word out about Pub Sports Radio. We've got so much football content coming up and starting in a couple of weeks. It's going to make your head spin. We will have by the way, and I'm not making things up here when I say this, we are going to have every single NFL and college football game, every single pro and college football game analyzed for you from a betting perspective all season long right here on the Pub Sports Radio channel. Every game. All right. Every single game. FBS, Power 5 conferences, all the smaller conferences like CUSA, Sunbelt, Mountain West, AAC, go on down the list. We will have it covered. The independents, everything in terms of college football. And, of course, every NFL game as well. It's going to be a fun football season right here on Pub Sports Radio. Looking forward to it. It's just right around the corner. Again, a couple weeks we'll be in the college football season. A week after that, NFL will be starting. So we are looking forward to it right here on Pub Sports Radio. So thanks for the support. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button. We'll get to Jack of the Day and Best Bets in just a second. But first, messages from our sponsors, Southtown 101 and Manscaped. All right. Southtown 101, San Antonio, Texas. When you're there, great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke at Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Manscaped, promo code Pub Sports. Yeah, you get 20% off your purchase of the Lawnmower 4.0 and any Manscaped product using the promo code Pub Sports. MyBookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. We just mentioned it. Football season is here. Now's the time. Right now, sign up for an account at MyBookie.ag. Get involved. Put some money in it. Get ready for football season. Use mybookie.ag, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit with mybookie.ag. So check that out, mybookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. All right, it is that time of the show. Best bets in just a second, but first, time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
Hey, Jack of the Day. Sal Perez got it done yesterday. I think Sal Perez can get it done today as well for me in this one for the Kansas City Royals. We will come back to him for a Jack of the Day candidate against Oda Rizzi. He's hit him once for a home run, 7 for 23. And obviously Whit Merrifield, and the price on Whit Merrifield is pretty insane. Plus 700 in some spots, and he has 3 home runs in his 9 for 21 lifetime against Jake Odorizzi. So a couple of Royals I like there for a Jack of the Day. As far as some other games, Wilmer Flores and Chris Bryant and Brandon Belt potentially against Rich Hill. They've all hit home runs against him. You could go in that direction for sure. Wouldn't argue with that. Let's see what else. A couple of Oakland hitters against Keuchel, Starling Marte, and Matt Chapman, I think are good ways to go against Dallas Keuchel for Jack of the Day as well going into this game. Nick Castellanos has a home run against Justin Steele of the Cubs. That's a good way to look as well. And that's about it. I'll stop with those ones. Connor, anything Jack of the Day for you?
Yeah. I got Jan Gomes plus 480. I forget what it is. He's like 8 for 25 with a homer. The Chapman, he's plus 380. I got to go back. 3rd day in a row. He didn't get a homer yesterday, but if you're going to give me plus 500, he's 2 for 5 with a homer with Mancini. I got to take that value there. You mentioned I don't have a number on Will Myers. He's got a few jacks. I want to look that up. Merrifield, you talked about. Guy doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but plus 700, and you said he's got 3 there. So I like that. Maybe you could look at Posey, one of the Giants, Belt. I think one of those guys will get a jack there. They have solid numbers, plus 400 and above.
All right, good stuff. Skee, we'll start with you. What do you like here for best bet today?
Well, if I was looking for a jack, I would probably look in that Orioles-Rays game, or I would look for somebody on the Reds. Best bet for me, I'm going to go, like I said earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's cash, 14 of the last 17 games. Give me Giants, team total over 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes some sense. And then you don't have to worry about Gossman. That's the beauty of those team totals, because Gossman's been a little more hit or miss lately. And then you don't have to worry about that so much if you take the team total. So Giants team total over 4.5, best bet for Skee Profit for Monday. Conor Mac, what do you got for best bet?
I like that one. That was a good one. You could go their team total, but it's the same price. I don't love that they're the home team, but these Cubs suck. So give me the Reds run line minus 110. Their team total is 5.5 at the same price. So just give me them run line here minus 110.
All right, there you go. Reds run line minus 1.5, minus 110. Best bet for Conor Mac. My best bet is going to be Oakland Athletics full game minus 108. Is actually minus 105 in some spots is the best price out there right now. So pretty much even money here. I like the A's here. I know they lost 2 or 3 to Texas, and I know the White Sox have a very good home record, but the A's have an equally pretty good road record. Montas has been in good form. Keuchel's not. They've been mashing lefties lately, Oakland. They have the better bullpen as well right now over the last 10 or 15 games. Even money and a lot more at stake for the Oakland Athletics right now than the Chicago White Sox. White Sox are going to cruise with ease to the division. There's no pressure on them to win games. Every game's important right now for Oakland. So Oakland Athletics minus 105. That'll be my best bet for this Monday card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. We will be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, with another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. You'll see our college football conference preview videos popping up on the channel starting later today. We're looking forward to that this week. We'll get through everything. We'll get through ACC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, SEC in that order, plus the non-Power 5 conferences. We'll get you ready for college football season, Connor and I. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. Those videos will be on the channel this week. For Skee Profit, for Conor Mac, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow on Tuesday for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.